What is she doing? Oh my goodness. So, similar to Donald Trump, the only person that can destroy Kamala Harris is Kamala Harris. That is the only person. The one person is Kamala Harris. The same thing I've said about Trump. The only person who can destroy Trump is Trump. And it seems that's what's going on in many of these interviews. And I get the complications of trying to, promote yourself as the president while currently being in the current administration, right? Because you want to distance yourself from Biden, but also you don't want to take a giant dump on the Biden administration, on an administration that you're part of. I get it. It's very tricky. It's very tricky, but it can be done. One of the issues that I have with her, and I'm not even going to get into the 60-minute interview. I did a live stream of that. I'll probably upload the live stream. But that was, Sambo talking to Kamala Harris. That was my take. Just an absolute clown that he was giving those questions, because I would love to see him give those same questions to Donald Trump. Nevertheless, let's get on to, as far as her interview with Colbert. I think it's Colbert. I don't watch the guy. But I'm watching this interview, and it's just, I don't like the word, but it's cringe, bruh. It is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, just cringe. One thing that I will say is that she is, in many cases, grossly uncharismatic. And it's unfortunate. She is grossly uncharismatic. If she was in a room with prosecutors or lawyers and stuff like that, she would get along fine. If she was in a room with police, right, a bunch of officers, law enforcement, she would get along fine. The problem with Kamala is that she comes off as an NPC. She comes off as someone that you can't have a beer with. That's the problem. She comes off as someone who, for lack of better words, people perceive as fake. People hate fakeness. Now, there would be a difference. If there was like a bit of awkwardness, but it seems like whoever she is, when the cameras are off with her family and her loved ones, she can't present that to the American people. She can't even present a form of that to the American people, unfortunately. And it is highlighted in many of these interviews, bro. It's just, they're layup interviews, and it just comes off as like, this really isn't a good look. And don't get me wrong, she should definitely do interviews. She should definitely do more interviews. But she has got, get with a coach or something to really hone in on, hey, how do I become likable? Like, read books. What's the book, How to Become Likable, or Win Friends and Influence People? Like, that's what she's got to do. Because I'm watching this interview with Colbert, and he asked her a question, how are you different from, the Biden administration? What are some things that you're that aren't going to change, and what are some things you're going to change? That's a layup question.
Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be, and what would stay the same?
A layup question, okay? A layup question, honestly. And she seems to answer many questions in reverse. And it's frustrating. It is so painfully frustrating, because I don't think she understands that most people aren't going to listen to everything she says. It's very much like marketing a product, a game, whatever it is. You have about maybe 5 seconds at max to capture someone's interest. After that, they go on, or they lose interest, or they don't hear what you're saying because they're distracted by something else. 5 seconds to hook somebody. 5 seconds, that's what you have. And so by her answering a question in reverse, she loses people. So Colbert asked her this question, and she goes on this tangent about how she believes in the American people. And you know what? The American people of this, and I believe that we can do better, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
when we think about the significance of what this next generation of leadership looks like, were I to be elected president, it is about, frankly, I love the American people, and I believe in our country. I love that it is our character and nature to be an ambitious people.
What? Bruh, that's not the question. That's not the question that was asked to you. And she eventually goes the long route and talks about, well, and that's why, when it comes to housing, I think everybody needs to get a house. And that's why we're going to do this assistance for when it comes to housing. We're going to give them I forgot what it was, a 30 or 20K, whatever it was, right? We're going to do that. In my first term, what I want is, to get at least 3 million homes. We're going to work with contractors and yada, yada, right?
3 hours later.
My plan includes extending a tax deduction for startup small businesses to $50,000 instead of what currently it is at $5,000, because nobody in 2024 can start up a small business with $5,000. So part of my plan is to work with the private sector, with builders and developers, to build 3 million more homes by the end of my first term, and to give first-time home buyers a $25,000 a down payment assistance so they can just get their foot in the door.
Now, even that is not really an answer to the question, but it's an answer, right? You can massage that. And it's like basic, simple questions. She's either having stage fright, she's forgetting, I don't know what it is. But she goes back to her, the policies that she's mentioning, but you gotta soften those policies up. In addition to answer the question backwards, you say that first, right? You say, well, I'm going to do the policy for this for homeowners. I think what's going on is horrible. I'm also do as far as want to get 1 million homes by my first term, my first year in office to make that happen. And then you go on and say, that's why I believe in the power of the American people. The American people, I just love so much that who we are as a people. And that's why, right? You bring out your point, then you bolster it, right? Then you bolstered the point. But she's talking this foo-foo-fee-fee and then making the point, and she's losing people. She's losing people's interest. And then it comes to the beer, right? You try to have a beer, and she's like, oh, the champagne of beers. The reason why she comes off as an NPC to me is because it seems like she has no personality. It feels like she's just talking to talk. Like, those people who are just trying to be diplomatic no matter what, those people are irritating. No one votes for those people. Everyone wants someone who's going to be, a staunch advocate for A or a staunch advocate for B. Everyone else is milquetoast and they're irrelevant. And you have someone like Kamala, and it seems like there's nothing that gets under her skin. There's nothing that she's really passionate about. She can say that she's passionate, right? But you got to show us. Don't say it, show us. It's as simple as that. She constantly says, I'm passionate about it, but yet it doesn't come off that way. It doesn't come off that way. It comes off as rehearsed. It comes off as this is what you need to say in order to gain the attention of this. And it's so hilarious because one of the biggest moments in her entire campaign thus far that I think resonated with most people is when she said that, if you come into my house, I'm going to shoot you.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes.
I think that right there, we need more of that. We need more of that. In addition of telling us, hey, what policies, in addition to the policies you've already told us, what are you going to do? I'm not saying lie, but, put out some tentative plans, right? Trump is talking about concepts of plans. And his concepts, he'll just say stuff. I'm going to end all taxes. Oh, yeah, woo! Now, can he do that? No, right? But it's the fact that, well, if he gets in office, he's going to end all taxes. I'm going to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. Wow! Right? It's just crazy off-the-wall stuff that A, he didn't fulfill, and B, there's no legal possible way of doing that. I'm going to deport everybody who's illegal and, who I don't think should be here. Whoa! Is there any legal means of doing such? No. But that's not the point. So I think she needs to pad her viable plans of, hey, I want to do a tax credit, I want to do that, but pad it with some other, feed the people, bro. Give them some meat. All right, that doesn't mean that you lied to them, but give them some things that you aspire to do. What I would really like to do, and don't get me wrong, it would be tough if we don't get a Democrat House and a Democrat Senate. But what I would really like to do is this, and this. What I'd really like to do is to end this, right? Just put out just give people a glimpse of if you had the power, if you had the power, given the executive office, what you would like to do, how you would like to shape this country for the better. Because that's what Trump is doing. And Trump is charismatic because he doesn't care. So it's a little bit of no filter and just saying whatever you want to say. That resonates with some, but it's gotten to the point where now it's like, okay, now you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. If she can adopt some of that, just a sprinkle of that, to give people insight to who she is and that she's a person and she's not just, you know what, and I believe in the American people. That's great that how much you believe in us, boo. That's really awesome. What are you going to do? What's your plan? How does it differ from Biden and how does it differ from Trump? And I think her saying, the way that I'm different is that I'm not Joe Biden.
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I noticed.
And so that would be one change in terms of.
Yes.
But also, I think it's important to say with 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump.
What?
That is the worst possible answer I can imagine. Like the worst possible answer I can imagine. The worst. The way that you're different from Joe Biden is that you're not Joe Biden? What? What? Oh, and also you're not Donald Trump? Like, girl, what is going on? And I get that there are people, right? There are people who can't riff, right? They need a script. They need, okay, I need what to say to this, what to say to that. There are people like that. And there are people who you can just give them a topic and they'll, spew an hour on that topic. They'll just rip, right? They'll go joke and everything. It seems that she seems to be the former, okay? She seems to be the former where she needs, hey, this is what you're going to hit, this is what you're going to hit, this is what you hit. It seems that she can't just riff with people. She just can't, shoot fire from the hip. That's something that many Americans like. They like that, okay? They very much like that. So it gets to the point of, yeah, you want to do interviews, but you want to do interviews that are favorable, that are going to present you in a positive light. Now, in many cases, that's not necessarily, dependent on the host. That's dependent on you. Because when the host is trying to bend over backwards to make you appear as a non-NPC, then we have a problem. Then it makes you look even worse. And what that does is, it doesn't help you. It helps Trump. That's what you don't understand. So it's a very calculated strategy moving forward that she has got to implement. She's just got to do better. Because how she's answered these questions with these non-questions or these deflections, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look. And it would honestly be criminal for her to undermine herself in this election, given the crazy stuff that Trump has said. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe Lucas, you're going too harsh. She did fine. 60-minute interview was fine. It was okay. Not the best, but it was okay. I think this interview was great. She's doing great. She's going to win. Just go out and vote. Or if you can't believe, I hear you. I hear you and all, but she can do better. Okay, it's as simple as that. She can do better with these answers. She can do better with these interviews. Overall, she can do better. And the problem is she doesn't have, 4 years to campaign. She doesn't have that. She doesn't have 4 years of people knowing who she is. Okay? That's not what we have, as her as president. So it's just, she's fighting, but with both hands tied behind her back. So she's got to, get a razor blade and cut the rope. All right, free yourself. Nevertheless, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me. Friday through Sunday, disagreement day. Call in, we'll duke it out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think. What did you guys think about the Colbert interview, the 60 Minutes interview? What's your take on it? And subscribe. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and all that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing.
I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I noticed.
And so